Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we livin'. After I did Mount Rushmores for every MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL team, four best players in franchise history, I have moved on, now that MLB is in their offseason, to the MLB Mount Rushmores by position. So in these, I try to attempt to name the four best players at each position in MLB history. Today is third base. So I will name the players in alphabetical order by last name. They were not ranked. I will say for third baseman, there were really seven very viable candidates, seven players who had a huge argument to be on here. I could only go with four. I'll name a bunch of honorable mentions at the end. Let's get into it, starting with George Brett, who was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1999. George Brett played 21 years, all with the Royals from 1973 and 1993, in 2,707 career games. Batted .305 with an .857 OPS, 135 OPS plus. Cracked 317 homers, 1,596 RBIs, 1,583 runs, 3,154 hits, 665 doubles, and 201 stolen bases. Legendary career. Brett was the 1980 AL MVP in a season. He batted .390 with a 1,118 OPS. Brett also had AL MVP finishes of second twice, third, and seventh in his career. Brett three times led the AL in hits, twice doubles, and three times in triples. He also had 137 triples in his career. Brett had 8 seasons of at least 20 homers, including a career best of 30 coming in the 1985 season, 4 seasons with at least 100 RBIs, and 4 seasons with at least 100 doubles. 3-time batting champ that 1980 season, as well as 1976 and 1990. So 14 years in between his first and third batting championship. Was a 3-time Silver Slugger, 13-time All-Star. Did win a 1 Gold Glove coming in the 1985 season. In that season, the Royals won the World Series. Brett was named the ALCS MVP. He also batted .370 in the 7-game series against the Cardinals. Historic player, George Brett, the first member of the third base Mount Rushmore. Next, we got a full-time Atlanta Brave, Chipper Jones. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2018, played all 19 of his seasons with the Braves, 2,499 games, batted .303 with a 930 OPS, 141 OPS plus, 468 homers, 1,623 RBIs, 1,619 runs scored, 2,726 hits, 549 doubles, and 150 stolen bases for the awesome third baseman who was the 1999 NL MVP. He also had NL MVP finishes of 4th, 6th, 8th, and 9th twice in his career. A standout at the plate. Jones cracked at least 20 homers every season from 1995 to 2008. In 6 of those seasons, he had at least 30, had a career high of 45 in his MVP season of 1999. Batted over 300 every season from 1996 to 2003, and again every season from 2006 to 2008. That 2008, he won an NL batting crown, batting .364 on the year. Jones had at least 100 RBIs every season from 1996 to 2003, and in 7 of those 8 seasons, he also had at least 100 runs scored. Jones was a member of the 1999 World Series winning Braves team. Not 1999. He won the World Series in 1995. They made the World Series in 1999 but lost to the Yankees. Braves were always a threat, especially in his prime. Chipper Jones, the second member of the third baseman Mount Rushmore. Next, let's go with another longtime Brave, Eddie Matthews, inducted Hall of Fame in 1978. Matthews played 17 seasons in the big leagues, 2,391 games, batted .271, 885 OPS, 143 OPS plus, 512 homers, 1,453 RBIs, 1,509 runs scored, 2,315 hits in his historic career. While he never won MVP, Matthews had MVP finishes of second, twice, eighth, and 10th in his career. He led the NL in homers twice in 1953 and 1959. Those were two of the 5 seasons, two of the four, sorry, in which he hit at least 40 homers, and he had 6 other seasons in which he hit at least 30, had 5 seasons of 100 plus RBIs, 8 seasons of 100 plus runs in his career, 12-time All-Star. Matthews also won 2 World Series in 1957 with the Braves, and nearly a decade later, 1968, with the Tigers. Eddie Matthews, the third member of the third baseman Mount Rushmore. And next, a man many consider the best third baseman of all time, that being Michael Jack Schmidt. Mike Schmidt was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1995. Only played for the Phillies all the way from 1972 to 1989 in 2,404 career games. Batted .267 with a 908 OPS, 148 OPS plus, 548 homers, 1,595 RBIs, 1,506 runs, 2,234 hits. Was a 3-time NL MVP in 1980, 1981, and 1986. If you look at his baseball reference page, it is black ink galore, as he led the NL in homers 8 times, RBIs 4 times, runs once, walks 4 times, on base percentage 3 times, slugging percentage 5 times, and OPS 5 times. From 1974 until 1987, all those seasons he had at least 30 homers, other than 1978 where he had 21. Schmidt was a 3-time MVP, as I mentioned, won 10 gold gloves at third base, was a 6-time Silver Slugger, was a member of the 1980 World Series winning team for the Phillies, in which he hit 2 homers and batted .381 in the 6-game series against the Royals. He was named World Series MVP. Michael Schmidt, the fourth member of the third base Mount Rushmore. So again, in alphabetical order, we got George Brett, Chipper Jones, Eddie Matthews, and Mike Schmidt. As I mentioned, there's really 7 guys who had a very strong argument. The hardest guy probably to leave off was Wade Boggs, just a professional hitter for such a long time. I could definitely understand if you wanted to include him. Probably the other 2 biggest omissions would have to be Brooks Robinson, probably the best defensive third baseman maybe of all time, and Adrian Beltre, such an incredible player for a long time, over 3,000 hits in his career. Other honorable mentions include Matt Williams, Robin Ventura, some current players, Manny Machado, Nolan Arenado, still young enough where maybe they can make a case by the end of their career. Evan Longoria towards the latter part of his career. Then we also got Greg Nettles, David Wright, Ron Santo, Scott Rowland, Buddy Bell, and Ken Boyer. So there you have it, the third base Mount Rushmore. Do you agree with the 4 I included? Would you have included Boggs or someone else? Let me know in the comments. Stay tuned for tomorrow when I do the left field Mount Rushmore, which is a pretty stacked one. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I am out.